the past, Paul Revere was under instructions to warn us, 1, if by land, 2, if by sea. But that is history. Now we need to know more and move on. Now we have to think about 3, if by air, and 4, if by internet. The British are coming. The British are coming.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is an impromptu live stream because I wanted to give people a chance to talk. As we introduce the subject, I want everyone to know I believe in the First Amendment. You have the right for free speech, but in so doing, be respectful. If you don't share someone's opinion, say it respectfully. If you are rude, my moderators will time you out. And if you are continuing to be on the rude side, you will be blocked. I do not tolerate rudeness, but I will tolerate a difference of opinion because that's what our Constitution says. This is brought because of a video that I've seen just recently, which I will introduce. But before we do that, let me say hello to everyone in the chat. Hello, Niels Hans Dynasty. Welcome. Welcome, Ian, and your partner that you brought with me, which we'll introduce in a second, FG Stacker, Aspiring Alchemist, one of my most amazing moderators. Oh, here's one I didn't say hello to in typing, but Magic Moon, welcome. And we'll try to not be on here for an extremely long time, but enough to get the point across and cover everything that needs to be covered. So I want to introduce to you my guests. First and foremost is Ian Everard, who owns his own coin shop out in, was it Wisconsin?
Wyoming.
Wyoming. I knew it was a W. He owns his own shop out in Wyoming. He's one of the most honest men I've ever met in precious metals. And if you ever are looking, you're trying to find the best deals possible, please go to his website. I'll include it in the description down below, which I have not created yet because this was impromptu. Then he has brought his friend on, Barry. Barry, would you please introduce yourself and your qualifications?
I'm Barry Creighton. I started life as a foot doctor. I got into medical devices. We built a medical device manufacturing company from the ground up. Went international. We exited. I sold to a multi-billion-dollar company. I worked in Mexico for a few years for that company until we sold. And that was some years ago. And then a few years later, I met Ian and was at his shop. And I was looking at some of the coins he had. And he had this new sparkly stuff he was showing me. And he was talking about it. And there's actually a professor at A&M who's a specialist in all things rare. And I attended one of his presentations. And this hit all the marks that was on that professor's list. And plus I liked it, so I bought some, and that's kind of how I got going in it.
Okay. And my next guest, who needs no introduction because he's on stream more so than many of us. I think he invented the live streams. Frostbite Coins. How you doing, Frosty?
I'm doing well, but it was far from that. I'm not Al Gore. I didn't invent the internet. No, thanks for having me up. I think this is going to be a really interesting conversation. I like the idea behind this, and I think you guys are in for some good discussion.
Okay, so let me introduce the discussion to you, okay? I was working last night, as I typically do, and I was working in the ER. It wasn't quite so busy, and in fact, I got a good night's sleep, which allowed me to, be awake to do this live stream with all of you. And in watching this, I watched one of my very favorite YouTubers. He was actually my third YouTube teacher in precious metals, and he presented a video that I don't 100% disagree with, but I think maybe he might be using the wrong word. And that person is, let me get my cursor in there, is Silver Dragons. And in fact, I sent an email to him telling him I was going to do this live stream. and invited him to come up. But it was last minute, and Silver Dragons is a very busy man. So I don't think he's going to be here, but the invitation has been sent. He, when you hover over this, he talks about osmium, and he introduces it why he thinks it's not a correct metal to be involved with. But I honestly think he used the wrong word. He used the word scam. I don't think osmium is a scam. I think the correct word possibly would be expensive. But as this is brought to light, I fully understand why it's not a stackable metal per se, unless you really, really want to. In my opinion, I'm a silver, gold buff. I have a little bit of osmium. I think it will retain value. I think it has an exit strategy, not as much as silver and gold. You can sell it to other people who like it, like Neil Swan Dynasty. You can sell it back to the person who purchased it from, Ian, maybe even Barry down there. I can't get my thumb to go that far down, but you get my point. Maybe even them. I think there is an exit strategy for it. I think it is climbing, and I think the rarity is more rare than any of the other precious metals we deal with. And I'm going to let these fellows talk in a little bit, and then I'm going to shut up. But basically, in its raw form, it can be dangerous if oxidized and breathed into the lungs. In the crystallized form, it's more stable. And if I didn't believe it was real or believe it was stable, I certainly wouldn't buy it for my wife for her earrings. So with that being said, I'm going to turn the floor over to Ian, let him go from there, and then we'll decide where we go from there. And feel free, Barry or Frosty, if you think you have something to add to the conversation. Floor is yours, Ian.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Tiger, for this opportunity. Tiger gave me a call. I haven't seen the video. I could say I've seen the clickbait title and I've seen enough, but the video and fun. So let's start with a bit of fun to try and keep the whole thing lighthearted. So I hear there's a dragon that is criticizing, well, worse than criticizing crystallized osmium. So, dragon, I am your St. George. Check it out if you don't know the story. See how that ends.
I think he does.
Good. So, crystalline osmium. I'm going to try and give a very, very, very brief overview of how we ended up with this incredible precious metal in this incredible form. So, Rolf, a Swiss scientist, when he was 16 years old, and I think that was over 50 years ago, got himself a sample of raw purified osmium powder. And he set about on a mission, which I don't think he realized would take over 50 years, to turn it into a form that would make it accessible as the 8th and final precious metal to be marketed and available in a safe form. Not only in a safe form, it turned out to be in an incredibly beautiful form. So I can interject here and show a picture briefly of what we're talking about. So see this little
here on the periodic table, and I'm going to take us back to all of us.
So yes, it's the 8th and final precious metal in the platinum group. Here is, see this tiny little piece here? You can see a little bit of the sparkly effect on that. That's just over 1/4 of an inch in height. Here is a photograph, non-enhanced, from the database. So every piece they cut and certify, they take a high resolution photograph, and you can keep expanding that and expanding that and expanding that. And you see the beautiful hexagonal crystal structure. No other element crystallizes to this beautiful form. Every square millimeter has more than 10,000 recognition points on a human fingerprint just from a high resolution photograph. So it's unforgeable by appearance. It's also unforgeable. It is the densest anything, apart from maybe some very temporary radioactive matter that they managed to make in a particle accelerator that can exist for a millisecond. So practically, we're never going to get anything that equals its density. So you can't forge it at density. It's also, as far as I know, and maybe there's a scientist here who will correct me, it's the only thing that you can't dissolve. So up to 400 centigrade in any acid alkali mix of, you cannot dissolve it. It will not dissolve. So therefore, you've got a third completely separate means of authentication. So it's completely unforgeable. So to call it a scam on that level, I think is incorrect. But to call it a scam, what is the value of one of the smartest Swiss scientists living, 50 years to develop the process and refine it and build a team that can take the osmium? To give you an example, and I'm reading from a technical reference here, it can take that a single osmium atom is passed through a purification process of over 100 times to get it between 9 nines and 11 nines pure before the crystallization process can begin. Then that purified osmium, and now there is only one laboratory in the world that can work to this level, and this is the Swiss Osmium team. Then they boil it. So they have to take it over the surface temperature of the sun to turn it into a vapor, meanwhile maintaining that purity level. And then they have to coax it to crystallize, which is another 160 conditional steps. So the whole process is a miracle that they actually managed to get this and to be able to repeat it. And they have had an accident. I mean, Rolf nearly died. He had a serious explosion at one point. So this journey did nearly kill him physically. So then this Swiss scientist meets Ingo Wolf. Now, Ingo Wolf was a precious metal dealer, a broadcaster, a scientist, running, I think, nearly 16 businesses at the time. Incredibly smart guy, probably the smartest mind in Europe. He said to Rolf, I'll give you 20 minutes. Talk to me about what you've made. 6 hours later, Ingo decided to sell practically all of his businesses and form the Osmium Institute to bring this to market, because he realized, he saw what had been, I'm not going to say created, because I believe only God can create, but what Rolf had made, how he had rearranged the atoms into the most beautiful structure. And now this was not only safe, it is the safest anything, because it is so inert, and make it available to the public. Now, recently, they decided to cap the production. Now, that's their choice, because it's a natural monopoly of production and it's a natural monopoly of distribution. So they've decided to cap the total production to 350 kilos. Now, I think, Barry, that will fit, won't it, inside 2.5 standard basketballs or a 10 by 10 inch cube. It is tiny amount that will ever be made. So when people say it's a scam, it's overpriced, it's like, good, because you're not going to buy any, and it'll be more for the people who do understand it. I'm going to pass over to Barry, because he might correct or interject or add his viewpoint and what he saw in the potential and why he has invested time and effort and become the State Institute partner.
That was a beautiful introduction, Ian. I think you hit a lot of the highlight points. I mean, I did manufacturing, and so the amount of level of manufacturing, the cost involved in that alone is very significant. Add to the fact that all those high-resolution pictures that they're showing you are actually stored and made available. Each piece comes with a QR code on it, and you can quickly scan it and go to their database for free and see the weight and the picture, et cetera, and validate it there on the spot. And that cost is incorporated into it. They're not charging anybody for that, at least not now. So that's part and absorbed as part of the cost of the actual osmium. So you have all the businesses processes, you have the manufacturing processes and all the businesses processes that are inherent in the cost of this particular element. But it is always, as Ian said, the rarest. And not only is it the rarest, it's the rarest form of the rarest precious metal. And they try to be also, they are very good people. They try to be ethical, and they don't want mines that have child labor or are very pollution oriented. So that limits somewhat what they do make also, because they actually care about our world and our environment, and disagree about some things, but I mean, they're trying to be good stewards in addition to good, honest people. That's my experience. So you have all these things that go into this that add cost. It's like taking a raw material and then running it through a manufacturing process and coming out the other end, you're going to have higher cost. And you got to charge the services and the businesses and everything that goes along with that. to expect it to be the same price as the raw materials is ridiculous. I don't. I have no comment for that. I mean, anyway, but it is beautiful. It's unbelievably rare. In this form, it's the most rare. And we can even address the word expensive. I mean, expensive is a word relative to something else, right? And so you could look at right now, some people think gold or silver might be expensive. Some people might think it's undervalued. Well, you have to look at the gold to silver ratio historically, and you would say, well, actually, silver's not expensive. It's probably undervalued, but some people will say it's expensive. So it just comes from your perspective and your mindset. But if you look at this particular form of osmium, and I went back and looked at the amount of osmium mined, I think since 2014 up until now, which was the data I could get, and I compared the amount of gold that's been mined since then. And then I took up that amount of osmium, 250 kilograms, that's going to be turned into this stuff, and it comes out to be about over 500,000 times more rare than an ounce of gold. So, I mean, it's unbelievably rare. It's only 350,000 grams. So if you were to own 1 gram of this stuff, there's only 349,999 other people who could have one. It's unbelievably rare. And so I would address this and talk about Bitcoin, for example. I mean, what makes Bitcoin? Is that expensive? I mean, you have an ethereal chain of stuff, and it's, you know, at astronomical levels now. Some people might think it's cheap. Some people might think it's expensive, but it is what it is. The market is determined that price because of the particular qualities that it possesses, and so they decided that's what its value is. And osmium is no different. It's going to be a freely traded, product, and people are going to have things they're going to say about it. It's fine. They can say what they want to say. I don't care. I see it as an incredible opportunity because of the rare, because I see the upside of it. It's like a Bitcoin. If you got into Bitcoin 10 years ago, yeah, people might have said you're dumb, but you might not say that right now. And likewise, I would say this probably, that as this is adopting into a new market, which is the jewelry market, and it is starting to take, it's taking in Europe, and it's going to come in the United States, and there's only 350 kilograms of this stuff. I mean, the potential for this to increase is far in excess of gold or silver, just because of the rarity of it. And as its demand goes into the jewelry, it's a limited amount of it. I mean, it's even far more rare than a diamond, and diamonds can be manufactured. And it's the only sparkly metal of which I can find. I looked, maybe there's something I'm missing, but I don't find anything else that sparkles suitable for kind of a replacement or as use of the diamond kind with that splash and sparkle. And in fact, there's not just us, there's major watch brands. This is Hublot. This is a luxury brand coming out of Europe. And you can see how unbelievable sparkly it is. And obviously you have these people who run these luxury businesses are not idiots. They're very smart, savvy business people, and they saw an opportunity. So that validates that it is a high end, something that's attractive for use, as I see it. And, people may disagree. People may think that a Lexus is an expensive car or maybe not worth it. And that's fine. If you want to drive, an old Toyota Civic or something, that's, it's your choice. It's fine. You're welcome to do it. If you think a Lexus is overpriced, you don't want to drive it, don't drive it. But if you want a Lexus, then you pay a Lexus price. I mean, I don't know why that's difficult. So from his perspective, it may be, and that's fine. I don't know if I have much to say from, I'll probably have more to say later, but I think Ian did an excellent job of laying it out, because you can see inherent in the process and all the costs that are associated with that. I've lived it. And anybody who creates a business from scratch and just doing all the stuff in the manufacturing processes, and if you, by the way, mess up on one of those steps in 150 stuff, you had to scrap the whole dang thing. Think about the scrap cost on that. So anyway, I hope we set a good preface here for this discussion, I hope.
Yeah, I saw a couple of points. I saw a couple of points in the comments that scarcity doesn't necessarily create value, and that this is exactly what Ingo Wolf saw, because previously to Rolf managing to put it into this crystalline form, osmium didn't really trade for that much at all. It was an unloved byproduct. It was toxic. It was expensive to extract. It was an annoyance in the mining industry. I mean, it's had niche uses in chemical research because of its oxidating properties. It's been used for fingerprinting. As Tiger mentioned, it's been used for gramophone needles. It's been used for fountain tip pens. It is used extensively to make super hard alloys. Some ships use incredibly expensive osmium alloy bearings because the option of having bearings that haven't got it in, that only last 1/10 of the time. So the downtime of that ship having to have its main bearings replaced makes it worth spending an inordinate amount of money using osmium alloy bearings. And more high-tech uses are arising. It is highly likely it will be the ultimate metal, a crucial metal in quantum computing, in the physical construction of them. But leaving that all aside, and we can leave it all aside because it has been decided only 350 kilos will be turned into the crystalline form. So just like Bitcoin, there'll only be 20,000 Bitcoin. But the difference between Osmium and Bitcoin on availability and scarcity is there are any number of crypto blockchains. There's no limit. The Bitcoin has no moat around the math, the data, the technology, the computing, the programming, the algorithms, zero. They are just, Bitcoin is successful for now because it was the first to get mass adoption. And as many things that get first adoption, they're not always the best solution. Sometimes a way better one comes along and knocks the old one out of the park. This cannot happen with Osmium because it is an element. And as Barry said, there is no other metal that crystallizes to this beautiful form. So it just so happens that when you're making it into a safe form, it is incredibly beautiful. Now, somebody else mentioned I can't see what it's used for. Well, I see, and I agree with Barry, and I think that's why Barry bought his watch. When it's in a watch, it is stunning. Now, if I walk into a room, and as long as Barry isn't in that room, I've got the best watch in that room. Hands down, it doesn't matter if somebody spent a freaking $1 million on some. If it's not got osmium, it is not as rare, it is not as beautiful. You cannot create this with anything else, that number of sparkle points. And I think Space Miner talks a constellation, and that was an incredible description. If you've ever seen the star at night in Idaho, rural Idaho, where all you see is stars, that is the only light. This is the effect you're getting in just an ordinary LED room light, let alone take it out in sunlight. You have that constellation of sparkling points. So you add that to its other properties. It is a no-brainer. It is going to do incredibly well. Now, getting back to scam, if any of us was trying to say, oh, you should sell your house, you should do a Michael Saylor and sell your kidney and mortgage your business and buy it. And that's what he said for Bitcoin. Absolutely no. You have no business buying any osmium until you've got a reasonable amount of silver. Zero. Do not. I won't sell it to you unless you show me how much silver you've got. So it is no scam. I am not saying anybody should first.
Second.
And sometimes for some people that's problem could be the only thing suitable. If they don't really grasp the beauty of the osmium, exclusivity, the rarity, if it doesn't capture you and captivate you, leave it alone. Because if you run in the lane of what you understand and you really understand it, you're much more likely to succeed if you stick to that. Now, as for scams, you could say that precious metals dealers that overcharge regularly are scammers. So, Mr. Dragon, who's your sponsor? You check out their regular pricing for most of their metals. They overcharge. That is a scam. I challenge you to prove that it is not. That's the first round from St. George. If you want to continue this, I will come on your show. You can have any number of experts you want, and I will prove by scientific, factual data that osmium is a good proposition if you understand it and you put a tiny bit of your portfolio into it.
Hey, can I make a couple comments too as well, Ian?
Sure.
The original question you were addressing was rarity does not necessarily equal value. And that is correct. There are the metals that are not that high. What drives value is demand. Supply to risk.
Hold on.
Simple.
Hold on. Hold the horses. If my computer is not lying to me, we are being visited by silver dragons. He must have got my invite. So if it's okay with you, I'm going to bring silver dragons on panel and we can have a good, wholesome discussion. By the way, thank you for the $5 super chat, sweetheart. Hey, silver dragons.
Hey, what's up, Tiger?
Miss you, man.
Yeah, I miss you as well. It's good talking to you, and appreciate the invite.
So as I mentioned early on before I went quiet, my opinion, I saw your video. I love your video. I
Thank you.
think you're using a wrong word. You know, I don't think osmium's a scam, but I do think it is pricey. And I think that might have been the word you might have been looking for, but I'm going to shut up from here on out and let you guys talk.
Well, let me just, I guess, maybe explain why I said that. So I was first contacted, hey, do you want to promote Osmium? I said no. They said, okay, well, let me send you a sample. I said, okay, whatever. And then I saw some stuff on Instagram about the Osmium mafia. It's a monopoly. There's these companies charging way too much. They're marketing it towards, stackers. And I'm like, why is this getting marketed towards stackers? Because this is clearly just like jewelry. Like, let's say you have some rare metal. It could be osmium. It could be anything. And you want to put it in jewelry. You want to charge $1 million for it. Great. I don't care. It's art. It's jewelry. Do whatever you want. Right. But why are you marketing it towards stackers? Because it's not liquid. Like gold and silver, I can take to any coin shop in America, sell it. Osmium, no one's going to buy it. Like I'm sorry. No coin shop will buy it. And I asked many. So how do you get rid of it? So if you invest in it, where do you offload? Like, I've listened to a few people here on the panel, and I appreciate your position. But like, would you buy my osmium just out of curiosity? Someone on the panel, would you?
100%, absolutely. I run a coin shop. Everything that I sell to my clients, if they choose to or need to sell anything of it, I will find them a buyer. I will endeavor to make sure it is the highest price in the industry. So yes, it is liquid, and I have this discussion. I have a very careful discussion. With anybody who buys anything about the 4 W's, the what, the why, the where, the when, and the who, to help develop a wise strategy, not only for buying, but also for exiting. And this is not targeted at the stacking community. There is not enough for the stacking
Why
community.
would they bring it to me? All I do is stacking. Why on earth would they approach me to promote it?
Who was that? Who
Hold
brought
on,
it to
before
you?
you go there, can I interject on that one, Silver Dragons? For someone who is a content creator at a much lower level than you, in my opinion, it's because you are one of the biggest out there. They want to hit the biggest audience possible. And if they can get you to endorse, blah, 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 then they get more of the stacking community. That's just my personal opinion, but it's from the heart.
Let me address some of this, please. So I built an international medical device company, and we sold to Europe, including Germany. You have to understand that this is a German company. They come with a German mindset. And so they introduced it and sold it to stackers in Germany and Europe. And the German mindset is very different from the United States mindset as a whole, as a general rule, because they're used to buying precious metals. I mean, they're much more than typical American is, for example. And so they started off selling this to investment bankers and to family trusts in Germany, and they bought it. So, and they come here, and the first thing they told me is they wanted to sell it to banks, and they wanted to sell it to family trusts. And I'm like, I don't think that's going to work, but I'll check. I have an investment banker friend that talked to him, and he's like, yeah, no investment banker sells precious metals here. So they came with a mindset. And I think you have to understand that they're German, and there's just a different market. I mean, different markets in different parts of the world are different. And every market that we went to in Europe, and each different country has its own unique characteristics and different things that go into making it what it is. And so we actually had different people in each country when we were distributing. Sorry, this is, thought I had this on silent, but I do have it on silent. Anyway, sorry. But anyway, you got this issue with I think it's a misunderstanding of the people and of the cultures. And you have to understand the different cultures they're coming into. That being part of being you said. The other part is I don't think it's inappropriate to market it to stackers. I just don't think it's an exclusive thing you market to stackers. And as Ian appropriately said, God, let's go to something else.
But
Sorry.
if you market it as jewelry, then that would be fine. But as an
I
investment,
don't see there's a problem. It is a precious metal.
It is a precious
Yeah.
metal. I don't know how to say it other than that.
So, do we
But
address you as Dragon or?
yeah, you call me dragons.
All right.
Well,
Yeah.
just a real quick technical question. If I use my like an XRF gun on these, it'll come up as osmium. Yes.
If your XRF gun is calibrated to identify osmium, there is zero chance that what they're selling is not minimum 595 pure osmium. Zero.
But how do you test it? Like, how would I know?
I am taking the word for it for Ingo Wolf, the founder of the Osmium Institute, his scientific team. I'm taking the word for it for Rolf and Barry. Might better
lab analysis that they sent me.
Sorry.
Right.
One of the other things that I can put down for the Silver Dragons is, even though I'm much newer to content creation than you are, you've seen some of my work. A lot of my work revolves around science and truth seeking. I will be looking for XRFs that are calibrated for osmium, and I have two pieces, earrings, one for my wife's left ear, one for her right ear, and I'll take that over to whatever XRF that they have and see if it's calibrated, and if no matter what the findings are, I will present them to prove or disprove what we're talking about. But my gut tells me that this is actually for real. In fact, I'm going to show briefly, and then I'm going to be quiet again. I'm going to show you the raw form of the metal as I found it on the internet. It comes out in a crystallized looking form. And
can I interrupt there, Tiger? That is
course,
not
mate.
that's not the general rule. That is the exception. It is very rarely occurs in natural crystals. Like that's
Okay.
they're very hard to find. The raw form is generally is a byproduct in platinum extraction, and often they don't even bother to take it out because you've only got a few atoms of it in an ounce of platinum. So most of it is actually trapped in platinum forever. It will stay in that platinum. So your bar of 395 platinum will have some atoms of osmium in it, and it's staying there. So the extraction process is arduous and expensive.
So just out of curiosity, does anyone on the panel have a problem with me calling copper rounds a scam if they're marketed towards stackers as an investment?
Copper, I totally 100% agree with you, Dragon. This is why we sell 49 pure copper nuggets at about a third or a quarter of the price per pound of 1 ounce copper rounds. And I think any metal dealer, all of the big ones, lowest price period, you name them, who sell copper rounds, copper bars, it is an absolute scam. It is a novelty unless the person is clearly told this is a novelty and you're wasting your money. There's going to be no return on it. Do not buy it unless you want it to look pretty on your desk. Yes, it's a scam.
Well, so that's the basis of me saying a metal that's not gold or silver being marketed to stackers is a scam because it's overpriced. It's going to look pretty on your desk, sure, but you're not going to be able to get your money back. You're not going to be able to sell it.
Disagree. I started buying,
but maybe you're the only coin shop in America that'll buy it, and that's great. But that's not liquid. Like,
Okay, so let's have a
where can I take it
conversation.
around me?
Let's address the liquidity. You see, we have this obsession. Everything has to be liquid. It's like there's a few things of life. If you don't
Bitcoin
get
is
it,
liquid.
Sorry.
Bitcoin is liquid. I don't even like Bitcoin, but it's much more liquid than this.
I'm just trying to address that. Why would you want everything in your life to be liquid?
If it's an investment,
is your dog
if it's an investment, okay, you don't need to bring like family into it. If it's an investment, then probably one of the first questions you should ask is how liquid is this investment? Is it a property that you're going to have a hard time selling, etc.? Go ahead, please.
Okay, first of all, I have investments that are illiquid. I mean, I have startups that I've invested in. I don't get money out for 5 years or even longer, if at all. Is that not an investment?
You could call it an investment. But what I'm saying is, is it a
is
good investment for the average stacker?
No. We're still going on this question about you said it's not liquidable. I can't liquidate these. I'm in them for 5 years And according to your definition, that's not an investment.
So you're saying down the road I will be able to sell my osmium to coin shops around me?
So let me go to that. That's
No, no,
Let me finish. You asked me a question. Let me finish. So you're used to dealing in a long established market, which is gold and silver for thousands of years, maybe longer, right?
Mhm.
So this is a new market. We've never even had osmium. You couldn't even extract it hardly until a little while ago. They didn't start selling this stuff until 2017, 2018. So you have a brand new market for something. And when you have a brand new market like diamonds probably started off, it took them a while. When you have a brand market, it takes some time for it to become liquid. I introduced a brand new market, a medical device to the country and to the world. And it took 5 years of pain to the market to understand what it is. And I'm a doctor and I was marketing to doctors. But it eventually did, and now we've sold well over 1 million units. I don't want to brag on myself, but I'm just telling you that just because it's a brand new product doesn't mean it doesn't have an investment and doesn't have a value. Now, you should go into it understanding, like I went into my investments, understanding that this is not something you're going to readily be able to discharge. Although I will say, right now, if you look at the prices going up rapidly, and if you want to discount your osmium 20% less than the current value, I might buy it back, or Ian might.
I'll outbid Barry. It is liquid. If you're buying it from myself or from Barry or from Nick Bermudez or Mike Kushner in California or Space Miner in Arizona and New Mexico, or Chris Marcus is the Florida State Institute partner. So if you're buying it from anyone and you need to sell it, we will get it sold for you.
So how much money would I lose?
What's the spread, you mean? If you bought it today and you sold it today?
Yeah.
It depends. If I like you as a client, you wouldn't lose anything. If you tragically had to sell it straight away because some disaster befall you, I would probably give you a full refund.
But I think we need to go into this.
But if I don't buy it from you,
no, my turn now, Barry. The liquidity. So if you buy a monster box of silver eagles from SD Bullion today, and you sell it back to them today, you're going to lose about $3,500.
Sure. And everyone knows that going in. If I buy osmium, I lose all my money because I can't offload it at all. I lose all my money. That's literally a scam. If you buy silver, you know the spread. You know exactly how much you can sell it back for. You're taking that risk as an investment. You understand the terms. Osmium, like you said, it's completely new. No one knows about it. I can maybe sell it to you or a couple people.
Well, in Europe.
I don't live in Europe.
If I may interrupt,
you have overstepped the mark calling it a scam.
Okay, so overpriced. Are we agreeing on that?
I think anybody as well, because yes, the pricing, because it's a natural monopoly. Now that was I had to think that through. It's a natural monopoly on the production.
Overpriced compared to what?
If I may interrupt for just a second. If I may interrupt for just a second, and
of course you can.
Let's put this to an acid test. What was it? September, October, something like that. I bought osmium earrings for my wife. Okay, for me, it's kind of an investment, but mainly I wanted to make her happy. But let's say today, I said, Ian, what would you give me for my my osmium earrings from my wife? She doesn't want them anymore. Now, I don't remember what I bought them for. I didn't care. I just wanted to make her happy. But let's say I said, okay, what will you give me for these 2 osmium earrings? Now I realize you probably got to look at your data about the sparkly effect and the weight and all that.
I would guess because you're a friend and I didn't charge any markup on the gold mounts, and I think I charged you retail for the osmium, you'd be up about 30%, 35%, maybe 40%.
Okay.
Name any other jewelry that will have that increase. It's not diamonds.
No. Diamonds, you're throwing away 70%. And you're never going to get your purchasing power back.
Yeah, but no one looks at jewelry as an investment. Or I mean, some people do, but
no, that's bullshit. I'm calling bullshit.
No one's buying diamonds.
I'm calling
no stacker.
That's bullshit. There's plenty. You got Mene. You got a whole range of bullion jewelry that people
The
buy.
premiums are outrageous.
No, they're not. Not on a lot of the gold. 24 karat gold bracelets? They're about a similar premium to a gold eagle from SD Bullion.
Yeah. So when we
But
look
you
at
can
the
wear it.
Osmium, yeah,
And it's pure
think,
gold.
I think jewelry is dumb, because the problem is when you sell it, that you sell it for scrap, and the coin shops, they'll buy it back for 80% of spot or whatever. Maybe they got to go melt this stuff. If it's silver, if it's gold, yeah, they'll buy it more, maybe 95% or something.
Is a scam?
Not 95% of spot. I'm saying you're going to get less than spot for sure.
You're saying jewelry is a scam?
Some jewelry, not all of it.
I think to nail this down, we need to do specific point by point, because we're just getting very general, very shotgun. Frosty, come on, your turn.
Okay, so I talk about investments, right? I talk about precious metals, investing in precious metals, and the reason you buy it is to whatever, insurance, hold on to it, sell it later, right? And to get the most money back when you sell it. That's the whole point. So if you're buying something that you're guaranteed to get less than spot, you're guaranteed to do worse off than something else. Yeah, I would not recommend anyone buy it. Absolutely.
So let me one point at a time. Let me reply to that. So you just stated, Dragon, to buy anything that you're going to sell and get less than spot is a scam.
No, not less than spot. I'm saying a comparable
you
product.
Just said that. No. You just said to buy anything that when you sell it, you're going to get less than spot. It's a scam. Agreed? That's what he said, wasn't it, Barry?
That's what he said.
So you ring up your SD Bullion pals and tell them they're scamming because they pay below spot for most of their buyback.
Well, it depends on the product, but I'm saying comparable product.
No.
Why would I recommend a worse product?
Buybacks is $2-3 back of spot. That's the biggest scam out there, because silver is 1,000 times bigger industry, 1,000,000 times bigger than Osmium. That's where the people have been scamming.
And it doesn't have the
dealers.
upside potential.
So you don't think people should buy silver? You don't think people should buy silver?
No, we never said
First.
that.
Yes,
Never said
first.
that.
But yes, absolutely. My company is called Arc Silver.
You
Gold.
diversify. Should you put everything in just silver alone, only period? That's what you should have?
So you guys sell osmium, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And that's why you like it, right? Because you make money off it?
I like Osmium.
Because I believe in it.
Let me tell you about my first experiences. When I first saw Osmium,
Do you make more money off your osmium or your silver when you sell it?
As a percentage of my business, it is tiny.
No, I'm saying, like, if someone bought $1,000 worth of osmium or silver, which one would you make more money?
Osmium.
There you go. So you're obviously biased. I mean, there's
no. You've deduced something because you don't know me. You don't know my ethics. You don't know my morals. You don't know my background. You don't know my faith. You don't know my beliefs. You don't know why I'm a precious metals dealer.
You would prefer to sell the osmium because it's a bigger markup.
You see, I can jump to a conclusion because of that program you just released. I can jump to a conclusion that you misunderstand science.
Okay.
You misunderstand what the eighth precious metal is. You don't comprehend it. That's fine, because there isn't room for many people.
It's better for you to sell osmium, right? It's better for the stacker to buy silver.
I would give you a list.
So we disagree.
You can talk to any
What's
of my
best
clients.
for the customer? What's best for the customer?
You could talk to any of my clients and ask them. I will talk through what their objectives are, what they have at the moment, what would best complement that. I never push osmium.
Okay.
Hey, can I ask a quick question? I've been pretty quiet. I've been pretty intrigued by the discussion here. To play devil's advocate, so Silver Dragons, you've poured in the past, back when you were told to cease and desist from Silver or Shire Baggins or whatever the initial one was.
Silver Baggins, yeah.
Silver Baggins, outstanding. Okay. How much of a premium do those rounds that you poured go for?
How much do they go for?
Yeah. So if somebody has one of those and they want to sell it, what do they go for?
Right now, it depends on who they're selling it to, but I don't know. I would guess probably at least double spot, probably.
Okay. And so in that regard, and this is again, right? if you're talking to the purist stacker, could you yourself recommend your own silver round
I never
to a
did.
pure stacker?
I never did. Never.
Okay.
Not a single time. Watch
Now,
any of my 1,000+ videos. I've
no, but this
never.
is what I'm
I've called it
trying
the
to get to.
worst. I've called it the worst thing to buy repeatedly.
But this is what I'm trying to get the other two folks to understand. What we're looking at here is a discussion on a purist standpoint of what stacking is. This is not, and they have never claimed it to be, a stacking metal. This is not targeted directly towards the purist stacker. It's an important distinction to be made. This is targeted towards the person who's engaged in collectibles. They are looking at things like precious metals. For instance, I'm a numismatist. I also collect precious metals. I also stack. Stacking is not the only thing that I do, but it is a component of what I do. You're looking at this from a purist standpoint, and I do understand that, but you have to realize, everybody in the panel right now, we're not talking about purist strategy. If you take anything from a purist standpoint, then anything above spot in that general realm, if you're going, 25, 35, 40% above, it's a bad investment. Doesn't matter across the board. If it's silver, gold, doesn't matter. It's a bad investment. Buying from the United States Mint is a scam. Oh, well, it's not really. It's just the fact that they are the sole proprietor of that particular item. Therefore, they have the opportunity to sell it for more. So it's not that it's a scam. We see it as a scam because, we think it's dishonest. But there are legitimate scams out there. I don't think Osmium is a scam, but we have to look at, what are we looking at? Very specifically, you are looking at the purist stacker. We need to make that statement very clear. From that argument, you're 100% correct. From a purist stacker standpoint, this is a bad investment. This is not something that you want to do. This is not something you're going to want to do. It's hard to be liquid. I completely understand. But the same goes for anybody who collects anything numismatic, collects anything like Tiger Stacker's rounds, your rounds, watches, jewelry. I collect gemstones, artwork, anything that is collectible is going to have the same argument
silver?
because it is a personal choice to invest or to engage in something that somebody likes. And so if you take it from that, hey, I don't agree that this is a good stacking thing. You should watch that. Be careful with it. But if you're a collector and you like this, then be on you. I'm not going to suggest it, then that's fine. But to use the word scam, we use that word too frequently, and we need to be careful. It might be a misrepresentation in that community, but I don't think it's a scam. So again, stackers do lead liquidity. I completely agree with that. But remember, we are not talking about the purist stacker, and I think that's an important comment to be made.
It's actually a really good take, and I do appreciate that. And you make some really good points. If I even said, if someone wants to buy it for jewelry, I think that's fine. And my take was, if it's sold to a stacker as an investment, hey, this is good. This will do better than your silver, better than your gold, or maybe it'll do the same. This is something good that you should buy as a stacker for an investment. I would say, no, I disagree. But yeah, if it's like jewelry for fun, same with, like you mentioned, poured silver, watches, whatever. If you want to buy it for fun, hey, spend your money however you want. I couldn't care less. That is a good point.
If I may interject, hold on a second. If I may interject, and I'm not going to talk about specifics, okay? I am mostly a stacker. I am a little bit of a collector, and I buy what I like, and I buy what I support of the people that I like and enjoy and emulate and admire. I'm not going to talk about the details, but I did buy a silver Baggins round. It was pricey, and I was happy to pay it. Okay, I'm not going to talk about the dollar figure, but the bottom line is I was happy to pay it. As we look at the transactions we make as a seller, as a buyer, I like to have everyone think about, the whole scenario about if you live in a glass house type of thing. I personally think that silver dragons would be really awesome with the word pricey or expensive for osmium because
I
it's
think
not
it
so
is.
cheap.
Yeah.
I bought osmium mainly to give something pretty to my wife, secondarily to support Ian's business. Just like when I bought my silver Baggins round, I was tickled to death to have something from your past to keep in my stack until God takes me from this earth. And that's where it will stay with me until God takes me from this earth. Same with my wife's earrings. And, would I say that your silver Baggins round was a scam? No, it was an agreed upon price because it's rare. It's part of you. You are my third teacher of precious metals. First Lynette, then Yankee, then you. You guys matter the world to me. So, I'm just going to put everything in perspective. When I do things, I also check with the going market, including yourself, what prices should go for when I sell certain things that I've poured. And, I'm not siding with Ian. I'm not siding with you. I'm siding on the fact that, we are one community. And whether we're dealing with silver, gold, osmium, platinum, palladium, whatever, we are part of one community. And I really want to re-emphasize that everybody in this panel or on the chat can have a difference of opinion. Just always, always, always exercise your First Amendment rights and be respectful. Because I respect all of you.
Can I say one more thing?
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that this got heated.
You
No,
would.
but but honestly, can anybody tell me why? It's
If you can.
because people of different areas came together for a common discussion. We can agree to disagree, and this is something that doesn't happen enough in our community. We need to be able to have these hard decisions. We need to be able to have these hard discussions. We need to understand other people's viewpoints. We don't have to freaking agree, but we need to get over this fact of what I say is what I say, and that's all it is. We need to learn and have an opportunity to learn by listening to others' viewpoints. This is exactly what needs to happen to continue to grow our community, not only just in the stacking world, in the numismatic world, in the collecting world in general. Having these kinds of conversations, having this where it gets a little bit heated, we come to a discussion. We agree to disagree in many cases. That's fine, but having the discussion is extremely important. And Tiger, first off, thank you for putting it together. Um, Silver Dragons, thanks for showing up. I mean, seriously, it's a hard place when somebody's saying, "Hey, what did you mean by this? Are you really calling us out? Do you really mean this?" And it kind of puts people on the spot. But thank you for being willing to come in. And
Mhm.
Barry, thank you so much for being here, talking about the
Thank you for having me.
scientific and the stacking aspect and what your engagement is. Because now people have more information to make an assessment of whether or not this works for them. And
Yeah.
ultimately, that's what this is about. It's about community, it's about engaging it, it's about growing it. And what just happened here is a good thing, regardless of how you feel about it. It is a positive thing.
Well,
So
so
I just want to say thank you.
great point, and I appreciate what you said. And the guy on the top, the bald guy. I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Ian.
Ian. Ian. Okay. Okay, Ian. What you said about, okay, if anything you sell for under spot is a scam. Okay, to be consistent, sure. And I can't control the buyback price for everything. I would like to know that all silver is getting bought back at least at spot. I can't control that, but sure, to be consistent, okay. I don't want to call that a scam. So maybe if you can't sell it back for spot, that doesn't necessarily make it a scam. But could you guys then just educate me? What is the spread? I know you said, okay, you'll buy it
Sure.
back, you have a full refund, but
Sure.
like generally, if
I'll
someone is
be-
buying
yeah.
osmium, what premium do they pay? Like,
I will
educate me.
All right, I'll be completely transparent with you. So Osmium Spot is published daily on osmium-price.com.
PREIS.
Maybe Tiger can pull it up and show the all-time price action. So the
Okay,
spot price,
tell me that again. I'm going to do it right now.
osmium-price.com.
Osmium
P-R-E-I-S.
price.
.com.
P-R-E-I-S.
Or the English way works.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
So the spot is transparent, what the daily spot price is. It's not so transparent how that is arrived at because it is a natural monopoly of production and a natural monopoly of
What is
recording
that?
and certifying.
Yeah. Yeah, spell it P-R-E-I-S.
It should come up if you click on it. Does when I click on that one.
Yeah, you probably have it forwarding.
I don't know why you're getting that. Yeah, do it the German way. P-R-E-I-S.
Osmium.
Here we go. You got it there.
P-R-E-I-S.
No. Yeah. Go on, Barry. You tell him how to find it.
It's osmium-preis.com.
I think someone's trying to sell the other. There we go.
There we go. And you can go USD, Euro, whatever. And then you have to realize, too, this is priced in Euro. And so you get fluctuations from currency
So
depreciation.
click on the left there, Tiger, select USD. And then on the duration, click all time. On the after the 1 year, click all right in the middle there. Click on all.
Yep.
So it's 2,300 a gram.
Nearly 2,400 a gram. So $2.4 million a kilo.
Okay, so how much is that for an ounce? Is it so? This is a precious metal, so it's going to be troy ounces or no?
This is kilo. I mean, sorry, that's gram. So you'd have to do the conversion.
Sure, but to compare it to like, okay, so just do times 31.1.
I think roughly it's about 17 times more than gold, something like that.
Let's see.
But as Barry said earlier, was it 500,000 times more scarce than gold?
$74,000 an ounce.
So in this form, the sparkling form, it's over 500,000 times more rare than gold.
So it's 500,000 times rarer.
Right. But just the price, about 74,000 per ounce.
I think that works out about 17 times if you divide gold into that.
So okay, so 74,000 per troy ounce. I guess we're going to do it in troy ounces.
So
I guess
this is interesting. This chart. So see where it says fork on that chart. In the little green box, it says fork. So they managed to perfect the production process and increase the efficiency. They decided to cut the price of osmium fairly dramatically. That's what that dip is. Do you know what the Institute did? Anybody who'd previously bought osmium got reimbursed. I think, Barry, you participated.
I did. I got it just in time.
Anybody who'd previously bought osmium got 50% more physical osmium delivered to them to accommodate that they'd cut the price.
Yep.
Whatever company on earth would do that? Who has a monopoly?
I don't know. It's got to be a company that's making a lot of money. I'll tell you that.
They're not actually making a lot of money.
Relative to what?
Or it doesn't actually cost that much to get it out. I mean, what gold or silver company would give you 50% more if the price went down? None of them. But okay, be that as it may, 74,000 per ounce. How much would it cost me to buy an ounce?
It would be at spot if you buy a square, a rectangle, a bar shape, or a hexagon shape, any shape that has minimal cutting wastage, because they produce it in 4.5-inch discs, and then it's graded, checked under a very expensive microscope for any flaws, and then when it passes all of that, then they decide what pieces to cut out of the 4.5-inch disc.
Okay, so I could buy it for 74,000 for an ounce at spot, yeah?
At the daily published price, yes.
So I could sell it back for that?
I'm going to be very transparent to you. So as a state institute, we get a maximum of 14% rebate. So our potential gross margin is 14%. But what we do as a business, we pay for the shipping and insurance from Europe, and we pay for the shipping and insurance in the US.
Okay.
So we take that out of that.
So you sell it to me for spot, but you get 14%. Do you get a keep?
Gross.
Okay. And then if I sell it back to you how much do you pay me for the 1 ounce?
If I knew you and liked you and I understood your reasons, I would give you a full refund. But I don't know you and I don't like you at the moment.
I don't believe you said that.
Okay. So you make 10 grand. Okay. Well, to be quite frank, I don't think that I could. I don't think I could sell it back.
I
for
don't
that.
think you should, because
I don't think you should either. I would tell you
really
that.
don't think you should. But I also think you shouldn't call it a scam when you don't.
It's just a different investment, and you have to understand each investment is different.
So
and
I'm going to.
It's like Pokemon cards, you know.
I want to tell you. I'm going to tell you a little story. So I've got a good friend, and about 3 years ago, he started buying silver, knowing he wanted to buy land and build a house around now. So he came in the store, and he brought all of his metals. In those metals was a coin disc, an 18mm osmium disc. He decided on a visit to my shop once he was going to add that to his stack as an investment, as a stacking metal, not because it was pretty, because of the scarcity, and he perceived it would go up in value. So he went through the stack and we were adding it up, what he would get till he got to the amount he needed to pay for the land and the house. Do you know what he kept? And this was nothing to do with my prompting or suggestions. He kept the osmium disc, the 18mm, the 3/4 inch round, because it had gone up, it had doubled in value in the 3 years he had it. And it was small and it was compact and it was beautiful and his wife liked it. He kept that and he sold the silver to build his house.
impossible to fake.
You know, I've got another friend in the valley here. He bought the first 18mm osmium hexagon. That's nearly doubled in value. I try to buy it back off him at full retail. He won't sell it to me. So if you understand it, it works. And if you don't understand it, keep away from it. But
If you want
please
something immediately reputable,
don't. Because you see, when you say scam, whether you realize it or not, you are insulting me, you're insulting Barry, you're insulting Nick, you're insulting Space Miner, you're insulting Chris Marcus, you're insulting all the people who understand it and have decided to make this available in the US. It's an insult.
it's not true.
And it's not true. It's not a scam.
Okay.
Hey, I'd like to address a question that's in here, and this has been said a number of times, and I've talked to Ian probably 5 or 6 times in the last year. One of the questions is, or is he just buying it back? It's from Miss Coin Cruise. You're buying it back to make people feel safer about the purchase. Neil will always buy it, or Ian will always buy it back. But here's the thing. Anybody that is in chat that knows my channel knows I can't stand gold backs. Can't stand them. I think they're a waste. I think
And
they
this
are one of the
is
cheapest-
our biggest argument right here.
Yeah, it is.
It's a scam. That is a
think
scam.
it's a good stacking thing.
So
As soon as I bring
am
this out, Frosty
right
gets
there
hotter
in
than
the
collar.
same-
Watch,
same
I
way.
can bake an egg off of his forehead right about now.
Yeah, so, but here's the point to consider, okay? When you have a company who believes in something and does a buyback guarantee, it doesn't matter what manufacturer they are. It could be Samsung, it could be GE, it could be Porsche, it could be, God, I don't know, somebody name a crazy freaking car that is trying to think of the, DeLorean. I don't know.
Lamborghini.
Yeah, I mean, Bugatti, right? There are certain places that believe so much in their product that they always offer their guarantee. And most places, when they do those guarantees, will buy it back at 100%. Now, the thing with precious metals is depending upon where you go, and Silver Dragons, you've done tons and tons of videos about this, depending upon the coin show or the coin shop you go to, or the coin show you go to, or the pawn shop you go to, the price you're going to get back varies depending upon who's buying it. But if you buy it from a manufacturer, you buy it from a distributor, and they give you a thing, it's not just to make people feel better. It's because they believe in the product well enough to say, if you don't want it, I'm going to take it back because I know people who do. And so it's really easy to second guess and underhand that stuff.
But you already made your money. You already made the 10 grand and you take it back, even if you buy it back at spot. So why wouldn't you? Then you could sell it to some other guy and make another 10 grand.
But that's what SD Bullion does, isn't it?
Okay, but
That's
but I
exactly
don't have
what
to
they do.
sell to ST Bullion. I can sell to anyone I want.
ST Bullion's highest margin products is when they do $3 buyback and then they sell it for $1 on special.
I don't get to keep my margin. When I return something, I return the full price of it. I keep zero.
So these Osmium Institute things that I got, do you know what the premium would be on something like that? The little thing I showed on the video.
The letters are a relatively high premium because there's a lot of when they cut the intricate shapes, there's a lot of pieces that have to go back into the whole process. So they have to.
But what would it be? What would the premium be? Do you know?
I think off the top of my head, when you get into the custom cuts and the intricate shapes, it's around 30%.
30?
I think so. Just ballpark. When I've done some rough calculations, you can work it out because I think you had an S there, didn't you?
Yeah. Someone should check it out because I'd be surprised if it was that low. I really would be.
Pull up. You can do the math. It's simple math. Pull up the QR code. It will tell you the exact weight of that piece. You can do the simple math.
Okay.
Can I say something else?
Let's see if it's 30.
Relative to this, somewhat. I mean, to some degree, they're stuck between a rock and a hard place because yes, they're marketing it to you, but they're also marketing it to jewelers. And for a jeweler, the margins are ridiculously low. I mean, and that creates a problem on the other side. So somewhere we're wedged between a rock and a hard place on this, and we're trying to find the balance and strike the balance. But in terms of stacking this, I would not buy this, and I have not bought it, and thinking I'm going to flip it in a few months. And Ian, from the very get-go, explained this to me. This is a long-term play. I bought what I bought because I believe in the long term this has potential to Bitcoin, and I think it will. But that's just me. But I would not buy this thinking you were going to immediately flip this. Now I don't do large expensive pieces. Right now I'm only selling small pieces, and it's jewelry pieces. Because why? Because you're better off buying a piece of jewelry with this in it than I shouldn't say I'm getting in trouble, but then certain things that look like glass, because the margins of those are far higher, and the amount of opportunity for them to go up in price is very extremely limited because you have manufactured diamonds and now it's essentially the same and becoming more and more like even the natural diamonds, and how much will that increase over time, and there's infinite amount of carbon from which to make this stuff. So and then you're asking, well, why is the diamond more expensive than the carbon? Well, there's a process to make a diamond that it requires energy and costs more. So you got to look into this process of this. If you run a business, you have to make profits. When you first started, I'm sure you lost money until you're trying to survive. And that's just the state of affairs of things. But anyway, that's how I look at it. And I certainly think I'm doing a favor to every person I'm selling this to, as long as they understand that this is a long-term thing. And especially if they're buying it for jewelry, because there's not a better value, in my opinion, out there if you're going to hold it for a long period of time. It's just not. And that's one of the things that attracted me to it. I mean, I have my wife's ring. I bought her when we were married 32 years ago. We just did another video on that. And I had it appraised. It appraised for the exact amount I paid for 32 years ago. And it's got gold and diamond, blah, blah, blah. It's not going to happen with this stuff. It's too rare. It's just going to happen. But again,
I did the math. It says there's $78 in it. So how much do they sell for? Like $110 or something for like the letter S?
Again, if you pull up the QR code,
I did pull up I did the exact math.
It will give you,
according to the price today, there's $78.
When you pull up the QR code, it will give you today's price for that piece.
Oh, it doesn't say it.
It automatically, you see, that's another feature of the system. It will
tell you it doesn't say it. Price. It says type of product, letter S, weight, certification number, current total net value. What do I click on? Change possession owner. How do I find the price? It doesn't say.
It should show the price when you pull up the QR code. Can you share
your screen?
I can't share it. It's on my phone, but
okay.
I could send you a screenshot.
Is it possible I can do the Osmium Institute with his?
Can we try and just buy one and see how much it costs? Like, how much do these cost generally if I want to buy a letter?
It really does depend, because now you have a variable. The longer they run the crystallization process, the bigger the crystals grow, the thicker and the heavier the piece is. Yeah. So you've got the weight part of it.
Weight varies.
The cutting charge is the same for a shape in a Sparkle 1, whether it's a Sparkle 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. The cutting charge will be the same.
So the cheapest S I can buy today is 175 euros. I don't know what that is to dollars.
About
Maybe
you're
a
adding
USD
what,
button.
about 15% now, I think.
So
You see,
What's
when I pull this, that I've just QR scanned. this
mine does not do
rate,
that.
It will tell you the price. It should show you the price.
1 second here.
Mine does not do that.
Do-
And
do
maybe
they-
I'll do a video and I'll show how it doesn't do it for mine. I don't know why, but the
where
cheapest
did
test
yes,
I can buy is 179 euro, and mine says it's $78 worth of osmium.
where did the S come from? Do you mind me asking?
Osmium Institute.
They
I
sent
showed it in the
to you, right?
video.
It's in that little black box with the clear plastic on both sides.
Well, they
No, I
may
mean,
convert it into a
who
piece of
sent it
jewelry.
to you? Who sent you the S?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up. Do you
Maybe
think
convert it into a box code, Ian. It could be in part of a box. In which case,
No,
there's
the S. I've got a feeling I was talking to somebody who had.
But like-
I think I know who sent it to you, and I think I might have sent
Okay.
it on their behalf.
think about how much? I don't know. It's
It
just,
might
okay.
have come
So
from me.
maybe it did. Thank you for sending it to me. so yeah, but here's the thing too, is like, okay, so to find the price, I got to go to this one specific website, which Tiger, I'm sorry, Tiger, I know you're not, the most tech savvy, but it took us a few tries to get to the right website. We finally figured out the price. This thing, the QR code isn't working for mine. The premium seems astronomically higher than you were saying.
But think what you've got there. How many diamonds would it take to set to make that?
Well,
If you
that's
did-
what I'm saying, is if it's for jewelry and you want to pay 300% or 200
I
or whatever.
would say an S. I would say an S is more aimed at adding value to it by putting it into a gold mount, initials or whatever, making a beautiful piece of jewelry. That is what the letters are aimed for. Would I advise stacking them? Well, in a way, it does work as a stackable piece because the demand is growing for its use in jewelry. And if you buy it not in a piece of jewelry, you're not paying the markup of the goldsmith. So you're getting the raw piece that could make a piece of jewelry that could have, as Neil was mentioning there, the typical markups on jewelry can be 100%, 200%. So it can work to stack the pieces where you're paying a higher premium for. But this is a very, very, very tiny available product. Only a few thousand people are ever going to be able to buy any.
But the premium is higher on this than a gold back, and you hate those.
Yes.
This is a higher premium, and it's less liquid.
Yes, but it's 500,000 times rarer.
Well, it doesn't matter the rarity if I
Yes,
can't
it
get rid of
does.
it.
Yes, because why then is gold? Why has gold got its perceived value at the moment? Because there is a finite amount of production, and there is a known amount that is above ground. If we fast forwarded and all the gold that is available is extracted, there'd be so much gold. The price of gold would fall rapidly.
Mm-hmm. Well,
there's another wrinkle to this. Again, is the rarity of it, and the potential for this to increase in value is, in my opinion, far in excess of any other thing you're going to purchase. That's why I own some. Now, I don't own exclusively this. I own other things, other investments, gold, silver, etc. But this is just another thing I've added to it. And again, I don't look at it as a short-term thing. And again, it's a different product because it's almost kind of a cross between a diamond and metal. It's kind of unique in that perspective.
Can you pull up that comment from Zephyl, Tiger? Rarity does not equate to value or price.
I was going to explain that.
Because
work on it.
We did touch on that before. This is what Ingo saw. We create a market.
Platinum is way more rare than gold, but it costs less. So yeah, rarity doesn't equate to price. Why is platinum not more than gold?
No. You see, you can make a general statement. You see, now if you create,
well, for other precious metals, it's not a general statement. It's for precious metals specifically.
As awareness arrives of how beautiful this is, and it makes the most beautiful watches and jewelry, it does something that nothing else can do. As awareness that grows and demand rises, yes, then its scarcity becomes a value point, not a handicap. Traditionally, it wasn't really worth much because it was so scarce. There wasn't enough of it for the uses it had at the time.
Now, what is the person you want me to pull up?
It was just a comment about rarity doesn't necessarily produce value.
Like with platinum and palladium.
Essentially, this is going to be a supply demand That's what's going to drive, or should drive it. As we know, it's not completely true because things are manipulated, which is another plus for osmium. Osmium can't be shorted. But you have a supply and demand type of situation. And a lot of the wealthy investors immediately ask, well, what's the industrial use for this? Why do they ask that question? Because they want to know supply and demand. It can be very rare, but no one really wants it, right? But there's also opportunity in finding something that's low value, essentially low value, as I view osmium. Okay. And sorry, that switch got me. But so we have the difference between osmium and some other metals is that osmium is so rare. I mean, you can only have 1 to 2 cubic meters of this stuff that could ever be mined from the Earth's crust, and you can look that up. It's going to be somewhere in that level. So it's extremely rare, and so the reason it doesn't have an industrial use. I did manufacturing. I spent money developing things. Nobody in their right mind is going to spend hundreds of millions of dollars developing a use for something that once you create it, then you're going to have so little of it, you're going to drive the price astronomically. I mean,
it would be like
in the past,
I use
and
the
they stopped
analogy
because they knew that the price would be too expensive. There's not enough of it to do that, so no one's using it. But that being said,
I use a simple analogy,
Ian, and there is an industrial use for it now, and that industrial use is jewelry. And the diamond industry alone is $80 billion. There's 350,000 grams of this stuff
in the US.
Yeah. So, and then the junk jewelry value is even $250 billion. It's insane. So we're not doing anybody disfavors by showing and selling this stuff. This is something that got an amazing ability to decrease. But the opportunity lies in looking at what would the demand fundamentals be this for the supply demand going forward. And that's what's attractive to me, because I understand that this is taking off in Europe. Usually fashions follow from Europe to the United States in terms of jewelry, and it's starting to happen. And as it does, the demand of jewelry and just replace, it can't even replace diamonds. Nowhere, there's not enough. If this stuff starts taking off, and when it does, and it is starting to, then this price is going to continue to go up, and it's going to be incredibly rare. I didn't buy this watch for nothing because I felt like it. Neither did Ian. And I'm an accredited investor. I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I'm not ignorant either. So I'm looking at this as a different opportunity. I'm not looking at something to flip immediately. If you're looking at something to flip immediately, don't buy it. This is not yours. You're a Datsun guy, or Toyota Celica. I mean, whatever, Corolla. That's what you want to buy, and that's fine. This is not your market. Don't buy it. It's simple as that. If you want something that you can hold for a time that's going to appreciate in value, then in your time being patient and you're looking for something that have a much more upside, and you see if it's this wave coming in jewelry market, then this is something you might want to take a risk. I've taken risks, I've lost, and I've gained. That's just part of it. And it's just an investor, type of investor, and investment you're doing, and how much of your investment portfolio you want to allocate to this particular thing. So, okay, Ian, I'm done.
Ian wants to say something, I think.
Yeah. No, I forgot what it was now. Okay. It is very binary. I mean, the first piece of jewelry we had made locally, we put it out at the Jackson Fall Arts Festival nearly 2 years ago. We're on the booth in the middle of the town square, if you've ever been to Jackson. The sunlight was catching it. A couple from Wisconsin walked up. The lady saw it. She asked my wife, how much is it? And it was $4,500. She bought it and left it. And I said, you didn't even tell her what it was? She didn't even know what it was. She saw its incredible beauty in sunlight. That couple, they're very smart guys. He's a construction guy, very down to earth, but they're always looking for rare niche things that they perceive have got huge potential. They've been back personally and bought more jewelry and more pieces. They get it. If you don't get it, leave it alone. But don't call it a scam, because it is not a scam. And I will keep saying it's not a scam, because it is not a scam.
But we all agreed that the copper rounds were a scam, right?
Because copper is incredibly common. Raw osmium is the scarcest element on this planet.
But it was because of the premium. I said they're a ripoff, also a scam.
Because it doesn't. There's no. It doesn't. They don't push every atom of copper through 100 times to refine it, to purify it.
The pieces that I have, the premium was similar to that of the copper. So think about it from my perspective. Think about it from my perspective.
Let's
This is
break
not your
this,
product,
let's
period.
break this down scientifically.
I know it's not for me. I know it's not
To
for
make
me.
a copper round, you just bash it out of a piece of copper. I mean, heck, it costs what?
Yes, it is being used in
15
exactly.
cents, 10
Another
cents
one.
is the minting cost.
Yep,
I mean,
exactly.
I can buy brand new silver buffalo rounds. I pay less than 50 cents premium, and that's having it shipped to me as well. So the cost to stamp out that copper is probably 15 cents effort. Okay.
Sure.
The cost to make this osmium is 50-something years of Rolf's life, 12 years of Ingo's life, bringing it to market, refining it to, I mean, 9 nines to 11 nines, refining it to 9 nines to 11 nines pure, so that each atom has probably been purified 100 times. It's no comparison.
So okay.
No, zero. There is no analogy. There's no metaphor. There's no comparison on the costs
when I put out my
and the
videos,
skill and the unique processes.
Being shorted and having the whole thing driven off of water.
I could go to Harbor Freight and make a mint for making copper rounds for a few $100.
Did I make a video talking about osmium as for jewelry as a scam? No, my video obviously is for stackers. That's what all my videos are for. And it's as it relates to stacking and investing in precious metals, which is why I talked about copper as a metal being overpriced, not worth it. And then I go into osmium as an investment, not jewelry, overpriced, not worth it.
Right.
So
okay, let's circle.
No one has a problem with the copper because you're not making that much money off the copper. But then when I bring up the osmium that you're making 14% off of,
Chris,
then you get upset about it.
I'm not getting upset.
Well, I think you were a little bit. Yeah, you did.
Hey, Dragon, you want to meet St. George if you want to see upset.
You talk about your faith and then you're cussing earlier, so it doesn't make much sense to me.
Cussing? I haven't cussed.
Well, rewind the tape, Tiger.
What did I say? Camel poo?
Oh my gosh!
Rewind the tape.
Oh, dude.
I say camel? Yeah, but you said any.
You want to call us a scam? You call us a scam. That's your choice.
But Dragon, you said any company whose buyback was below spot is a scam. You said that. If you want to rewind the tape.
Yeah, and you commented about. Look, guys, I don't know if this is going to go anywhere.
No, it's not.
So
I would like to.
Let's figure out what we agree on, right? It is overpriced. We agree on that.
No,
okay. I don't agree on that.
I think that's an ignorant statement, but that's my opinion.
It's not very liquid. Do we agree on that?
We haven't finished addressing the difference between a generic copper round and a piece of crystalline osmium.
It's all right, Tiger. You could do it later.
and I think it is suitable as an addition for certain people as stacking as a tangible asset investment. It is suitable.
Okay.
So for you to say it's a scam,
I still would like to see someone with an XRF shoot it and see it come up as osmium. I would love to see that. In fact, if someone did that, it would actually help persuade me that it's less of a scam if it could be proven to be real osmium. And then if someone could prove to me that they could sell it, like not to one shop, like maybe in every state, if there's one place to sell it, okay, a little bit less. But
if you think this is such a scam,
there's just no way.
If you think this is such a scam, you go and you build the equipment and you build the factory and you figure out the process and you do it and you take the pictures, everything, and you make it freely available on the internet. You do all those things and you make the profit. Go for it.
Yeah,
I don't want to. I don't want to profit off something like this. I don't believe in it.
Opportunity there for you.
You can't do it.
People. So there must be a huge opportunity, right?
Hold on, guys. I think he brings up a very interesting point. Something I mentioned earlier on, and I'm trying my best to stay out of it because I really enjoy all of you presenting your points. But as a scientist, I'm always looking for a way to prove and disprove. So if I can find an XRF that is calibrated for osmium, I'm going to do it. And if I can't find it, I'm not going to stop looking until I finally find what I'm looking for. But you know me well enough, Dragons, to know me for 4 years now. Yeah. I'm always on the search for truth. So I'll just I personally, I can't speak for anyone else. I personally am already looking for XRF, and I didn't know I had to think about calibration, but I am already looking for XRF to take my wife's earrings to.
Yeah, one I might recommend is the big tabletop ones. I think can usually do more than the handheld guns, and you're probably going to go to a refiner to find something like that.
Most refiners can't even test for it because a lot of people think they have osmium and they try and sell it to the Osmium Institute and they send them a sample, and sometimes it has no osmium in it. So you're probably in the 20, you're probably right, you're in the 20, 30,000 plus range of XRFs that could actually identify it. But again, I think there is zero chance that the Osmium Institute has spent there's been 12 years of opportunities for people to say, oh, that's not osmium. In fact, it is even used in the crystalline form to calibrate scientific equipment because it is a minimum 595 pure.
Is it the mining that's the monopoly, or the refining, or the distribution? Where's the monopoly?
The natural monopoly is in the crystallization process.
So creating the specific product out of raw osmium,
turning
is
it from the raw osmium, rearranging it.
Process, a very expensive one.
There's one guy or one company that does it, right? One
guy who's built a team in Switzerland.
Has the IP for it.
Okay, so that's the monopoly.
40 years of their life doing that.
And if you want to invest in it, you have to get this specific type, right?
You can get the regular osmium if you want to.
It's dangerous.
You can buy scented osmium. You can buy osmium powder. You know, most of it will not.
But to safely invest in it, come on, guys, to safely invest in it, right? You have to buy the specific type.
I would say if it's in a glass ampule and you don't break that glass ampule, that's safe. Just don't break it. If you do break it, run. Same with mercury.
If you break it, run. Okay.
Same with mercury. You know,
generally speaking, for the average person to buy it, you want to get it in this crystallized form, right?
It's the most. It is the most.
What your purpose is.
It's the most.
As an investment.
If you want to put a tiny part of your portfolio into osmium, yes, I'd recommend the crystalline form, because I think it has the greatest potential of any form of osmium.
There's people out there who are investment managers, and they'd say you recommending any precious metals is a scam.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Well, I mean,
it is true, is it not?
To them, sure, I guess. I don't know.
Exactly. To them, relative. So that's what we're trying to say. I mean, you're coming from a mindset in, relative to your world, that may be true. And I'm not trying to necessarily go to just whatever your world is. I'm trying to go up to a world at large and give an opportunity. If this thing goes up 10 times in the next 5 years, I've done people a huge favor, and that's what I think it will do.
Well, I think we hit the nail on the head. I make the videos for my audience, for my niche, which is stacking, and that is my view. Yeah. And but I did say, if you could figure out how to test for this, I think it might sway me a little bit. Okay, we can prove it's real osmium. That's step one. Step two is, can I sell it? If we can get there, then I might change my mind to it's just expensive. But we got to get there first.
I'm pretty certain I sent you this. I can't remember who was watching your channel or something, and I said,
I appreciate the views. I appreciate the views.
I might well have sent it. I don't know.
Is Bitcoin expensive right now?
I don't buy any Bitcoin. I hate it.
Okay, but is Bitcoin
you'll own nothing and you'll be happy.
Is Bitcoin expensive? Is the question.
It is an expensive scam. Yes, I agree.
Okay, well, I'm not sure. Some people don't think it's this expensive. Some people think it's cheap. I mean, it's relative to what?
Some people way smarter than me think it is. Yeah, I don't understand it enough, and I think it is a psychological operation personally.
Yeah. You'll own nothing. You'll be happy.
Some people have a different perspective on it, and I own a little bit of that. I've diversified into that. Maybe I'm a fool. Maybe I am. I don't know. But I've invested in different things. Sometimes I've lost everything, and sometimes I've done extremely well. This is my no reward.
On the testing, Dragon, I'm sure I can send you any number of documents from scientific institutions around the world that have independently verified it. That has been done for sure.
And I have
no, that's great. I'm saying, is there like an XRF either handheld or tabletop machine that
I think Tiger, you're going to help us with that. Tiger, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. So if and you guys have changed my opinion. If we can test it, and if I can sell it, then it's just expensive. I will change my opinion.
Look at the price action in 2017. In 2017, it was under $600 a gram.
Great.
Look at the price
Now
curve on it.
Look at rhodium. Yeah.
So now it's $2,400 a gram.
Yeah.
So it's 4x since
People are buying it.
2017.
Yeah.
And it's been, if you look at 2020 when everything crashed, Osmium didn't flip. So it's
And it
actually
didn't short it either.
it's been more stable.
That's the big thing.
So
Yeah.
real quick, if I may interject, one of the questions is how do you test it? In looking at the way that they test it, there's two specific ways to do it. One is called the ICP-MS, or the plasma mass spectrometry, or gravimetric analysis. So there are various labs that are located throughout the world that you can take this to that can actually test the authenticity of this. It's going to cost you a little bit of money to do so. But in looking at the website, looking at the information, the other thing that you can do is you can take the authenticity, the certificate you get when you buy the osmium, and compare it against the lab values. They will work with the company to validate that it is the piece that they say it is. So you'll have an extra layer of authenticity. So there are ways to do it. Now, I don't know if there's anybody here who has access to spectral imaging or gravimetric analysis. I don't know that there's people that have
Space Miner
the
does.
ability.
Yeah,
Space
I could
Miner.
have mentioned that, but Spaceman I would have already done it because that's who he is.
Oh yes, you're right.
What, just out of curiosity, what about SHTF? Is it worthless in that scenario?
Everything
Good
is.
question.
Okay.
The only
Okay.
thing that might prolong your life would be lead and
Bullets, beans, beer,
Yeah.
Band-Aids.
Yeah, everything. That's
Bullion.
the Mad
By the way,
Max world.
what is your opinion on these rare numismatic coins that are made of silver? Are they overvalued?
In SHTF, they're worth the silver amount. Yeah, they are overvalued in that scenario. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
well, there we go.
To buy them for collecting and for fun, like I said, if you want to buy a car or a watch or whatever, have fun. I don't care how you spend your money. But for investment, I actually think they're probably a poor investment, and I never recommend the high premium coins, numismatics, semi-numismatics.
No, I don't mean high premium.
Never
I'm
recommend
talking
them.
old and rare. Maybe even from hundreds of years.
It's just
ago.
an ounce of silver in SHTF. Yeah,
You
but
see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, 100%.
But we've got a few years. I think we've got 5 to 15 years. I think they'll stabilize everything with the full CBDC, then they'll dilute the crap out of that, and then everything blows up. I think we've got 5 to 15 years to prepare.
Okay, so if you get osmium, you better get out in 15 years. Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I would say this: if you want to carry your $500,000 worth of silver with you in your person wherever you're going, good luck.
Yeah.
Preferably you're carrying gold if you're doing that. I think most people who have that much are more of a stay and play.
But the problem is, if you're carrying gold and you bring out a piece of gold to pay for something, that person you're doing the deal is going to presume you've got a lot more gold, and they're going to kill you and strip search you.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the things I want to bring up, because I mentioned it and I highlighted it on the screen, was we're 96 minutes in. I'm not sure if everybody wanted to stay this long. I'm enjoying the conversation. Heck, I could stay here all day, every day. But, maybe one of the things I'm thinking is both sides of the argument can have a chance to brew on the other points of the opposite side of the argument. And either A, we can end the stream on this note, B, continue, C, continue later and revisit this topic when everyone's had a chance to digest the opposite.
Why don't we do this? I'm okay to continue later because you're right. We've been going for a while, but is it possible to try and see if we can test this and then revisit at that point? Is that possible?
Sounds good. So
Okay.
are you saying that would relieve some of your concerns if we can take it to an independent laboratory and just check it? Could you do that at A&M, Barry?
I'm not going to ask any of the professors to do that. You can't go in and use their equipment.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's too.
All right.
Okay.
So let's see if you can test it, Tiger, and
I will. I'll be calling around. But one of the things.
Please send your S back I'll give you the full current retail price for that, and I'll pay the shipping.
Thank you, Ian. I appreciate that.
Seriously, I want that.
I'm gonna take mine into the refiner here and see if they could test it, and let's revisit it later, huh?
Yeah, but definitely I want that S back, please.
You'll get it back, I promise.
Awesome.
Okay.
After I try and test it, I will send
Don't
it back
melt
to
it.
you.
Don't heat it over 400 centigrade.
I won't blow it up. You can have it at spot.
Don't grind it.
Okay. Now I did notice here, and Frosty, as always, I might need your help on this stuff. We have gotten to 25 likes or more, so I'm going to be giving away a silver quarter. So I'm going to try to harvest the names. If I remember correctly, it's the 3 dots. Go to participants and highlight everyone.
But guests don't qualify?
If you haven't been putting in the chat, that's how I get the names.
I think I was putting in chat.
Well,
Okay.
again, folks, I just want to say, again, Tiger, number one, thanks for having the conversation.
Yeah, thank you.
Silver
My
Dragons,
pleasure.
thanks for coming up. Barry, thanks for coming up. It's great to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Being able to be introduced, have the discussion. Ian, as always, great to hang out. But again, folks, this is what this community needs. We need the opportunity to agree to disagree, to have these conversations. We don't have to agree on everything. That's the great part about the country that we live in. We get so wrapped
Frosty,
up sometimes.
we don't have to agree on everything.
Well, no, but we get so wrapped up, and this is serious. Don't interject, please, because
Okay.
what I want people to understand is that in this community, you don't have to like the way people act. You don't have to like the way that they have their bedside manner can suck. That you don't have to like their
Hey,
take
Doc,
on
give it away.
collecting or stacking. You don't. The fact of the matter is, when we can come together as a community, have the discussions and leave with more information than we got here with, we're doing a good thing. So let's continue to have these conversations. Let's continue to break this out. I'm glad we're going to have phase 2 to this. I'm really interested to see where it goes and get information. Let's inform people. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. And you know what? There may be people that listen to this conversation and go, I'm now interested in this. Good for you. Stay away from goldbacks. Just kidding.
I don't think very many people are recommending goldbacks for stacking, though.
No.
There are
We
a
don't have to
couple.
get back into it. We don't have to get back
Wink,
into it.
wink, that guy to my right.
We don't have to get back into it.
No, but again, this is great conversation. This is the kind of stuff that we need to have. And again, just because there were disagreements, just because we don't see the exact same way, doesn't mean that the 5 panel here on panel doesn't respect one another. We do. We respect their opinions. We respect each other as a person. We don't have to like what they say or whether we agree, but we do come together as people, and that's what makes us great. So thank you so much for having this conversation. I have to bail. I got stuff I've got to get to do, but thank you everybody for doing this, and thank you for including me on this journey.
Thank you for
Thank
coming,
you.
Frosty.
You're a great host.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks, Frostbite.
Okay.
Nice to meet you, Tiger. I mean, and
Thank you too, Barry. I appreciate you coming. I would love to get in touch with Space Miner if you all can help me get in touch with him if he has the tech to do this. Now, I understand he's a big firm believer in Osmium, therefore has some. But
oh yeah, he's got some beautiful stuff he's made with Osmium. Actually, it's amazing what he's doing.
He's State Institute partner for New Mexico and Arizona.
He's in New Mexico. Well, that's where I'm at right now, so maybe it'll be easier. Well, actually, I don't have my wife's earrings. Anyway, so, but I wanted to thank Barry for coming. I want to thank Ian for coming. I want to thank my very favorite teacher, Silver Dragons, who's been my 3rd teacher when I was brand new to precious metals, for coming on board. Before we hang up with each other, I would like to keep my promise. I have harvested the names for the.
This looks super rigged, dude. This looks.
Oh, I knew you were going to go there. I knew you were going to go there.
Sketch, Tiger. I don't know about you. I don't know about this one.
You have to talk to Professor Rigobordis. When Yankee sabotaged my wheel and totally destroyed
This is the
it,
most rigged one I've ever seen.
Image
you
of that
don't have
wheel,
to talk with Professor Rigobordis. He put it together because I didn't have the tech to fix the broken wheel that you see right there. But he put it back together, and he has anti-Yankeed it.
Let's see it. Let's see it.
Okay, so save time. It'll be the first person on there. If my name comes up, I'll put out 2 silver quarters.
All
Okay,
right.
so here we go. And I hope you all can hear it because I put a great deal of work on getting the sound effects. Here we go.
Right.
Did you hear the sound effects?
It sounded great.
Awesome. Awesome. So Aspiring Alchemist, who is my best favorite, amazing mod, your congratulations. You have my email. Send me an email to get the silver quarter. And, thank God you gave me grief about rigged. I really needed that.
That was the most rigged wheel I've ever seen. That's not even close, dude.
So anyway, Aspiring Alchemist, please send me an email claiming your prize. I'll get it out to you when I get home from New Mexico and that whole thing. I do want to thank everyone for coming up on here, coming live with me, and for the panel that we've had, the discussion we've had, and the camaraderie that we've had. So if you all stay here, I have my typical outro, and then we'll say goodbye to each other. Here we go. By the way, guys, tell me what you think of the outro. It's pretty new.
I love your intro, by the way. That was wonderful.
Thank you. Here we go.
Come and join the stream. Gold and silver lovers chasing precious dreams. Collectors, stackers, gather round. History in your hand. Old and timeless treasures from every distant land. We are many, we are strong. In this journey we belong. From the past the stories shine. Gold and silver, yours and mine. Coins and relics, tales untold, whispers from the past. Legends live in ancient gold, memories that last. Through the ages we unite, shining side by side. Silver gleams and golden nights, a never-ending pride. We are many, we are strong. In this journey we belong. From the past the stories shine. Gold and silver, yours and mine. Coins and relics, tales untold, whispers from the past. Legends live in ancient gold, memories that last. Through the ages we unite, shining side by side. Silver gleams and gold ignites, a never-ending pride. We are many, we are strong. In this journey we belong. From the past the stories shine. Gold and silver, yours and mine. We are many, we are strong. In this journey we belong. From the past the stories shine. Gold and silver, yours and mine. Gold and silver, yours and mine. Coins and relics, tales untold, whispers from the past. Legends live in ancient gold, memories that last. Through the ages we unite, shining side by side. Silver gleams and gold ignites, a never-ending pride. We are many, we are strong. In this journey we belong. From the past the stories shine. Gold and silver, yours